I wanted to get on very quick. I'm not gonna stay on long. I'm really tired and I'm really cold. I can't seem to get warmed up, so I'm gonna get under a heated blanket in a few minutes here. Um, we've had some errands we've had to run over the past couple of days. Um, I am really trying to work on these. I've gotten these things I'm working on for the store we're going to be putting them in, and for the event that's coming up. I've gotten three done, I think. I've gotten three done. Yeah, I've gotten three done. Hi, Carmen. I've gotten three done. Hold on a second, and I'll show you guys so you can see. Hi, Life with Wanda. Hi, New Beginnings. You guys could put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. Hold on a second. All right. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that maybe think about just taking a little break and then coming back if you need that. But please don't stop being part of our community. Sometimes you need to step away for a little bit and then come back. And sometimes I've had to do it. Anyway, I've done this one, which I really like. I didn't have enough. These are our towel caddies. I didn't have enough of this yarn left over to make another one. So I did this one, which I liked. And then I've done this one, which is really pretty. These go so you don't have to pick up your towels every 5 seconds. And this one, which I really love. This one right here. This one's going in the store. So I've gotten three done. I have to finish 5 more. Part for the event that we're doing coming up for the shower, and part for the store. And I've got soap caddies to do. I've got like 40 more of those soap caddies to do. I've got soap caddies for the store. And so I'm really, really focusing right now on getting this stuff done, because I'm realizing that if I don't get this stuff done, I have other things that have to happen. I've got to work on decorations. I've got things that need to be cut out and all that kind of stuff out that I've printed out and so forth. And I can give that to Mama. She'll help. But I also don't want to overwhelm myself. Hi, Michael. I'm kind of coming out of whatever this little funk was. I am going to be, I finally figured out how I was going to do the video for the drawing because I have to do it video form. It has to be longer than 3 minutes. For the Dog the Bounty Hunter, which I'm going to do tomorrow. Used to have, well, tonight's the last night, I promise. And I will choose it tomorrow because I want to talk about overcoming for a moment. Can I say that I was really depressed? Yeah. Somebody really kind of lifted me up today. And I was someplace, there's a local place in our area that's doing like a raffle, like a jackpot thing. And we bought some tickets to go in there, like $2 a ticket. So we got a couple tickets, and we've been doing that every so often. And there was this lady there, and she just said, "I want to bless you," and handed me $20. She said, "Go buy yourself some lunch." And I thought, I really needed that today. And then I turned around and blessed somebody at our church with 2 chickens. And she just gave me a big hug. And she just sat and talked to me. Hi, Venus. Venus, I'm sorry. She just talked to me. You guys could put hashtag blessed in the chat if you want people to connect with your channel. And I really needed that. I'm kind of going through a little bit, and I've realized that recently, a little bit of a kind of change trying to figure out who I am, standing bold and proud of who I am, which I've told you all. Hi, Wolf, how you doing? I've told you all that you need to be proud of being you. Because everyone else is taken. There's not anybody else. I think another thing that I've come to realize that the relationship that I lost in a family member in 2023 really has kind of left a mark on me that I really didn't want. Because everything now I'm like, oh, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to do the wrong thing because that person's going to just vanish out of my life. And I've had some discussions with some people in my life, and I've really let them know that, please, I need to know that that's never going to happen. And I have people who I know that's never going to happen. But they also know that that whole thing was a little bit of a triggering moment. But welcome in, Marcy. Maria, sorry. So I'm kind of navigating all this, and to say that I have been a little bit down in the, down over the past 2 weeks, yes. Am I coming out of it? Yes. I had a friend tell me today, the friend that I dropped off the chickens to and just blessed her with. She just looked at me and she said, "You look really tired." And I am. I'm tired. I'm hurting. I'm sore. I think I did over the past couple of weeks have a fibromyalgia flare up. I'm also changing. My body is changing. And with that comes a level of pain. Also realizing that the way I work through problems is by talking them out. Whether people like it or not, it doesn't really matter. It's who I am. And this person happens to be a teacher, and they go, "Well, that's someone who has dyslexia. That's how you work through things, and you need to be able to talk. And you can call and talk to me anytime." And I know I have people that I can call and talk to. And you guys as a community have been so amazing to just let me get on and just talk. But for the past week and a half, I really haven't felt like doing much of that. I've actually been hi Dan, I've been very, very quiet, which is very unusual for me. Yes. Well, thank you very much. Welcome on in. Cricket, if you haven't hit that button, hit the connection button. I've been very quiet. I do things when I'm hurting, like I did with you all the other day, where I said, this is how I get through a fibromyalgia flare-up. I make things. I crochet. I lay in bed. I watch movies. I watch television. I watch Facebook Reels, and I create stuff. Whether it's this, whether it's blankets, whether it's soap caddies, whatever it is. That's how I deal with it. There's been my fibromyalgia pain, which is just a pain in the neck, and I'm used to. But this has been heightened a little bit more. My pain level has actually been a little bit more than I'd like to be able to have. I know where my pain level sits, which is like a 2 or 3. I've been sitting at a 5 or 6 going on for about a week. That gets really exhausting and really tiring. And another thing was, I think I needed to be quiet for a while. There was something inside of me that said, you need to be quiet. When I did that live that said to you all, I'm a broken soul, I really was. And I still feel as if I am somewhat of a broken spirit. where I'm figuring out who I really am. What are some things that I can improve on and I need to improve on? And what are some things that I may need to say, you know what, that's just part of who I am. And like it, lump it or not, you're going to have to agree. You're just going to have to love it. And I had a really good compliment from my daughter today when I talked to her. And she said, if you were like that person, Mama, I cry because I love you just the way you are. And that made me feel so special because I needed to hear that. Um, but I'm kind of trying to navigate this whole thing. My husband, as wonderful as Mr. Blessed to Crochet is actually taking me to go see Elvis on Monday. And he said that's my late Valentine's Day gift. That's my early Mother's Day gift. And I will let you all know what I think of it. For those that know, I went to see the person that did Elvis, the movie. I can't even begin to pronounce his name right now. I was not a fan. I was not a fan of it. Did not like it. Thought it was taken way out of context. There was things in there that never happened, and it was really more about Colonel Parker than it was about Elvis. This is supposed to be Elvis telling his story from his perspective with lost footage. And everybody has said, if you're an Elvis fan, you got to go see it. So we're taking Christina and we are going to go see this. I want to see it in the movie theater. Christina loves the concert years. It's one of my favorite years of him because I think he just blossomed in his voice and his sound was so much richer and so forth. So, hi sissy, well, how you doing? I know you have, but I know you're there and you're always there for me and I appreciate it. So he's taking us to go see this on Monday and I'm really excited to be able to tell you. I got the lace for the project that I want to do. I'm going to go ahead and use just what is, I can't think what it is now. Regular Dollar Tree canvases right now till I kind of get a little bit better idea of how this is supposed to work before I go buy nice canvases, and I've got to get better paintbrushes. So that's done. But I really have to hunker down. March 1st is coming up on Sunday. I really need to hunker down and get this done. These things that need to get done because I do not want to have all this crochet stuff that has to get done. Plus, I have these soap caddies that are going to go into some stores and they've got to get out in the stores next week. So, what are we going to be doing the next week? We're going to be doing a lot of this. I'm probably sitting in my rocking chair, crocheting. I am just really focusing on doing this and finishing this. And I'm trying to come out of this. Like I said, I'm not a quiet person, but I've been really quiet, which is very highly unusual for me. But I think I needed to be quiet for a while. I needed to process it, and I still think I need to process it. I still think I've got to go through and process this. And I think part of the reason I was so quiet was because I was just really hurting. Like I said, my pain level is usually at a 2 or 3. My pain level's been at about a 5 or 6. So like I said, my friend looked at me today and said, I have never seen you look so tired. You look absolutely exhausted. And I feel exhausted. My husband looked at me today and said, you look like you've been run over by a Mack truck. So I know that all of this stuff And guys, I love you all, and I try to tell you all because I know there are people going through some of the stuff I'm going through. But I also feel as if there's some parts of my life I can't necessarily do all on YouTube. But there's just been stuff going on in the background that I kind of have to navigate this through. I've been trying, I guess because I'm going to become a grandmother, my grandmothers have been on my head in a way that I've been really thinking of my Nana and my other grandmother and wanting to make sure that I navigate that well. And I don't think there's a right way to do it, but I've had to remember that, and it was a little like bib that I found that said, I don't have any grandmother. My grandmother's like nobody else. And I'm like, absolutely. I have to remember that. I'm going to be a different kind of, I'm going to be my version of a grandmother, and I can't be anybody else's one. And I can't be anybody else. There's nobody else. I'm an original. So if you guys can go watch stuff you haven't watched before, it would help right now. I really appreciate it. It does. I'm going to get back in the swing. I have just felt as if, honestly, I've had no creative, nothing. I will go back and do some double overtime this to keep any kind of situation from happening. Yep, I totally get it. I'm I've got to do a couple more. I'm going to do some more mocha things. I'm going to put them up. But I just haven't felt like editing anything. I know I need to finish the Advent series. Nothing. I felt like doing nothing. Creative juices have been nil, and they're not usually there. And I think sometimes there are seasons in our life where we need to be quiet. And it's really hard for us people that do this and talk. But we need to be quiet. And it's important. Hi, Kaladin. Well, you're welcome to come in. I choose not to go into those kind of topics because they can be they can be very divisive. And this is a place where we come in and we are here for each other. We're here to support each other. We're not talking about political stuff. We're not talking about things that can be divisive because I want people to come in and feel they have a space. So I think sometimes we have to, in our lives, be quiet and realize it's not necessarily a bad thing. Christina doesn't like it when I'm quiet. She said, doesn't like, give me the silent treatment, Mom. But I don't think it's necessarily a silent treatment. I think it's just my brain's overwhelmed. I'm trying to process it and see, understand. I've tried to explain this to Christina, and she's getting it. But when my dad was angry, he would just, or upset or whatever, frustrated, whatever, he would just spill it all out. And my whole family on my dad's side tends to have a habit of just coming out and then hurting people. Then they feel better. Then they come back and apologize. Well, I don't like that. I actually find that to be very, 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 so wrong on every level. But our family tends to have, on my dad's side, the history of doing that. And so I don't want to do that. I want to do nothing like that. I want to be the opposite. And so I have learned over the years, I need to be quiet when I'm upset or depressed or I want to say something that I'm going to regret because, Oh, thank you, fishy things. Thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate that. If you have that trivia again, I would be glad to participate. I wanted to do that one time with you, so I know I haven't been on too much, but I do want to do that. I know that you asked, but it was like over the holidays, it was hard. I was always doing something, so. Oh, you're doing it tomorrow night? Okay. If you want to send it to me, I'll be glad to participate with it. Um, so, as be glad to participate. Maybe it'll give me something to, you know, get myself out of this hole right now. Um, but I've really learned that I needed to. Okay. Well, if you wanted to send me something, you know, you can. Um, I think I've wanted to realize that that's something that I am. It's something that I've had to be very careful about because I do not want to hurt anybody or say something because it's like toothpaste. It's like we tell our kids, you know, once you say something, it comes out, it's out, and it can't be taken back. And so I have really learned or tried to focus when I'm upset or I'm angry or I'm hurt or I'm depressed or any of those things. I need to be very quiet for a while till I can process this head of mine and all the emotions and get myself in a good place. This one took a little bit longer than expected, I think because I was hurting so much. And yes, it's not good to continually focus on that. But I also think as a fibromyalgia patient, I think sometimes we have to realize we are in a heightened stage, we're in a heightened flare up. Now, here's the other thing. Depending if you're a woman that has fibromyalgia and you're going through different stages of your life, there are times when you are in more pain. And I was told that by a doctor. When you start having changes go on in your life, you're going to be hurting a lot more. There are changes happening as I'm getting older, of course, going into that grandma stage. And my body is saying, let me tell you. So I had my husband and a friend look at me today and say, you need to go home and rest. And that's what I've been doing most of the day. I know I need to do the video that talks about the stroller fan. I need to do the video for the dog, the bounty hunter, and I will do it tomorrow. I appreciate everybody's patience and understanding because there were days over the past couple weeks, guys, I have not been able to do much of anything. And I have said from day one of this channel, I am never going to come on here and put everything's fine face on when it's not. Because that's not life. Life happens, and especially when you are a fibromyalgia patient, putting on a mask and say everything's fine and I'm okay is the wrong thing to do. None of us should be living our life that says, yeah, everything's fine and everything's happy and nothing ever goes wrong. Because that's not life. And things will happen. And people are not going to like this about you and that about you and this about you and all that kind of stuff. And I just had to sit back. And I've realized that I've got to figure out who this girl is. Everybody else can tell me everything, but I need to figure it out for myself. Because as I'm going into this new stage in my life coming up, I want to be able to show that little one, you got to stand tall and be proud of who you are. And I better be able to speak that truth. Am I proud of who I am? Yes. Do I look up at God and say, why did you make me this way at times? Hi, Unique. Welcome on in. Absolutely. 110%. Why do I have to be so sensitive? Why do I have to be so talkative? Why do I have to be over the top sometimes? One thing that I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt is my husband said to me past couple of days, you take care of everybody else first before you take care of yourself. And my friend today looked at me and said, I see that all the time. You're taking care of your daughter, you're taking care of your husband, your mother, everybody else. You're not taking care of yourself. And I've done it my entire life. I don't need anything. For example, where is it? Let me see if I can get it. Hold on, stretch. So I will be getting new glasses either Monday or Tuesday. These glasses, I need a little bit updated prescription, not much. But I said to my husband when we went, I'm this kind of girl. I don't know about anybody else. I take my glasses off. Everything's blurry. I put them down. I go have a shower, right, and